So you're fine if you're casting a wider net in your talent pool. You're going to more schools, and you get 20% less racial diversity as a result of that.
Yes.
You're perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. Now I'm going to take a look at it again and say, okay, where are we hiring? Because obviously we're missing qualified candidates, because I think there's a lot of Black, Hispanic, et cetera, qualified candidates. We're going to analyze our approach, but I'm not mad because we didn't find more in that first outreach. I just want the most qualified candidates, period, in the story.
And that's another sort of partial. I mean, we'll see if this is a disagreement. That people on the left, they assume that when you see a racial disparity in, say, computer science, I wrote some articles on this a few years back. It's turned out in computer science and finance, as two examples, there was far less Black students, like compared to their proportion in the population. There was far less percentage that were taking computer science and finance, as an example. And so, if you have 5% of the student body in the finance class at a university that's Black, then you might not be able to get 13 to 14% Black employees.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes. Like I said before, if you live in a town where there aren't a lot of Black people, aren't a lot of Hispanic people, you're not going to have 13% of your.
So you're fine with that?
Yes. Why would I not be fine with it?
Okay, great. But that's not what Starbucks and Amazon and Meta and Pfizer.
I don't care. They can virtue signal all they want. Why are you trying to get me to pass judgment on them when, I told you what I think, that they're virtue signaling?
Yeah, but they're not only virtue signaling, though. Those goals are based on false premises that you need to fill exact racial.
You're contradicting yourself.
Statistical
the whole point
numbers.
Of virtue signaling is just to make it seem like you're doing those things, or to let people know so that they want to do business with you.
Except for Apple and Microsoft, who actually made progress on their racial goal that they set out.
But you're presuming that those people aren't qualified.
Okay, Apple sets out a goal. We want more Black people. They get more Black people. It's pretty obvious what's going on there.
See, I can make a lot of comments right now, Rob, and I won't. Right? You're presuming that because they increase the number of people of color, those people must not be qualified. And nothing could be further from the truth.
It's because why weren't you hiring those people of color in the first place?
Because it's hard. Go on. What's the most number of people that have ever worked for you, Rob?
Yeah, less than 0.001% of what you have. So that,
no.
I'm not going to win that experience.
Number of people that you've ever hired that have ever worked for you?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably less than 15 on the podcast. Yeah.
Is it easy to hire those people and pick those right people?
Is it easy? Finding the right people that I want can be challenging.
Yeah. Have you ever had to fire somebody?
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? It's really hard to fire somebody. It's painful to fire somebody because it's an admission that you made a mistake. It's an admission that you didn't put them in a position to succeed, or whatever the reasons are. Right?
But it wasn't because of race. It wasn't because I wasn't hiring.
The point is, hiring is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard to do for big companies and for little companies, particularly for little companies. But big companies have just as many challenges because they have so many levels of bureaucracy. Anyways, look. Hiring is hard.
Then do a better job of hiring. Stop fixating on race and gender as your goals.
You know what, Rob? If you were better at all that than they are, you'd have 500 employees, right? You've got a business. Why isn't your business bigger?
Well, I'm a podcaster. I'm like a.
All right. So there's podcasters that make tens of millions of dollars.
I'm relatively new to the game here, and I'm an independent writer first and foremost. But okay.
No, that's good. I'm not trying to diminish, right? I'm a fan of every entrepreneur. I respect everything you're doing. I'm not trying to diminish it all. All I'm saying is it's hard. It's hard to run a business.
I agree.
To grow that business is hard. It's harder for someone like you trying to build a following and grow people that want to come back and listen, that are willing to commit their time to you, to hear what you have to say. That is fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. What is it? 99% of podcasters fail within the first 18 months, if not sooner. So you deserve a lot of credit for getting where you are. But as hard as it is for you, it's not any easier for bigger companies.
I agree.
And so how they choose to make their decisions, you may not agree with them. You may not. Yeah. And there's not unanimity in how big companies work on this topic. You keep on giving the same examples. There's not, which shows that, if those 4 companies or 5 or 10 companies are in the Fortune 500, there's 490 that you haven't mentioned, right? That may not feel the same way.
Okay.
It's hard. And so when you say, will I say something negative about them? No, it's hard.
All right. Okay. Again, to close us off, I would select based on merit and talent, and the thing we just talked about
So will
earlier.
I. So will
Countries
I,
like
and so will
okay,
all those companies
okay,
you
but
mentioned.
companies like Apple, Microsoft, it's Starbucks, etc., that set out these racial goals. If instead, if they had said we're going to cast a wider net and we want to make sure everyone is included and everyone is given a fair shake and a fair chance to be part of our company, and then you end up with 60% more black employees. Oh, great. Okay, all right. But not when you say we want to double our black workforce and now okay, we've got it. That's the wrong premise to operate from. The premise should be equality of opportunity, not equality of racial representation or equality of outcomes, which is that's
So
what that is.
I'll let you have almost the last word. But what I'm saying is, it's the numbers will be the numbers. If that's the wrong way to do it, and they're hiring incompetent people or less qualified people, it'll show up in the numbers. And again, now that we're going through an anti-DEI administration, the converse of those numbers should appear as well.
Yeah.
We should see all those mistakes that you feel these companies make reversing themselves. And so we'll know over time which is the right approach. Or it may well be that it was just virtue signaling and it didn't really change what they did. And they were always just hiring the most
Yeah.
qualified people.
Yeah. No, yeah. All of that is totally possible. But I
So
think
now you're
companies
agreeing with me. See, I got you to come around.
except I don't think companies should be using race and gender as a proxy for diversifying
There you go.
and finding better
And
talent.
you have
Don't
every
use
right to
race.
think that.
Don't
You
use
have
race and
every right
gender.
to think that.